Greetings to all of you, wherever you're listening from. I am Commander Bimal Raj, a TEDx speaker, internationally certified trainer and coach, mindset mentor, and a teen and parents coach. In this podcast, The Awkward Talks, I bring you topics that are usually considered taboo or are not discussed freely by the youth, but are some of the most pivotal things that we should be talking about. Today, I'll be talking about a very important topic. Something we call different names, like it's code red time, lady business, that time of the month, etc. But very rarely talk about it normally. Yes, I'm talking about menstruation or periods. Let me tell you why this is important, especially for men. I'm close to 50 years. I grew up with 3 women in my home, my mom and 2 elder sisters. Around 80% of my immediate cousins were girls who were more or less my age. Despite having so many women around, I did not even know that something called periods even existed. When I was about 27 years old, one of my friends from the army told me that women bleed for a few days every month. And to be honest, I was quite repulsed by the thought of it. Naturally, I did not want to know more about it since it was not a problem that I had to face, isn't it? I understood the entire science of periods when we got a book for my daughter just a couple of years ago. I'm definitely not proud of it, but this is the truth. Despite the fact that I will be a published author soon, when I was writing the script, I also realized that I didn't even know the correct spelling of menstruation. I know for a fact that it's not just me who is totally unaware of what all the women go through during their periods. Even though for us men, women and girls are one of the favorite topics of discussion right from teenage, the one thing that we never discuss is periods. We only make it the villain if we have a fight with a woman and dismiss her argument saying that it must be that time of the month. In fact, there are over 5,000 euphemisms that exist around the world to refer to periods. I think it is important that we not only learn what it is, but also support our women the best way we can, because trust me, it's not easy going through it. So how do we do that? First, by changing the way we look at the whole process of menstruation. First of all, it's not an unclean time of the month. In fact, it is quite the opposite. All those men who are proud parents or wannabe parents, please know that periods are proof that you can be one. Because the only reason why women have periods is that every single month the uterus prepares itself to fertilize an egg by providing it with extra nourishment in the form of extra lining. Now if the fertilization doesn't happen, it sheds all the extra lining and it comes out of the body. Be thankful and grateful, because if this process doesn't happen, it would mean that you cannot become a daddy. Not only that, in some Indian cultures, period blood is deeply respected and considered to have potent powers. In one northeastern state, there is a ritual in which a girl's first bloodied cloth is kept by her mother and gifted back to her once she is married. It is believed that the cloth will protect the girl and her family against poor health. So please know that it is not something so dirty or unclean that you don't even feel like talking about it normally. We poop every day, right? And sometimes even twice a day. But we don't have a similar repulsion to pooping like we have for periods. The main reason is that unlike pooping, none of the men experience periods. So basically we have no clue about what happens in the process. On top of that, most women are embarrassed and they become secretive about it. Naturally, therefore, they find it difficult to educate their sons about what their moms, sisters, girlfriends and spouses go through every single month. Now, if you're still listening to me, I hope you're able to look at periods differently now. If you can, then the rest of the episode will be very helpful for you. Now, let me first tell you what periods are. Like I mentioned earlier, every month the uterus releases an egg. During this time, the lining of the uterus plumps up with a lot of nutrients and extra blood to give it nourishment for a fertilized egg. And this is the first step of having your child. Now, if there is no pregnancy that month, then the extra tissue is not required and it gets shed. That's all there is to it. However, there are a lot of other things that women go through when they are in their menstrual cycle every month. This is more important for you to know so that you can be more understanding and supportive. First, the cramps. Now, to expel the extra lining that was created for the egg, the uterus needs to contract, causing cramping. This can be very painful. The intensity of pain varies from person to person. Now, just because you never heard your mom complain, please don't assume that your wife or girlfriend is making too much drama about their pain. It can vary from a dull headache through the day to rolling on the bed unable to handle the pain. Just take their word for it. Almost 90% of women experience pain during their periods. More than 60% may have acne breakouts. More than 70% have sore breasts. 60% feel bloated, and about 25% even have diarrhea. It is said that there are some people, when offered a choice between two calamities, they choose both. Unfortunately, in the case of women, it is true. It is not just the periods that they have to suffer through. They also have something called as PMS or premenstrual syndrome. Let's now talk about PMS. Premenstrual syndrome occurs a week or so before period begins, and it can really make her feel like total crap. Even scientists don't know what exactly causes PMS, but it is mostly due to hormonal changes happening, preparing the body for motherhood. Now, fatigue, mood swings, food cravings, breast tenderness, cramps, aches, and increased anxiety are all associated with PMS. Now, this is not a medical podcast, so I don't want to go deep into the technical terms associated with PMS and period. My goal through this episode is to remove or at least reduce the stigma associated with it. I mean, this is something 1 in every 7 women you meet daily are going through. We need to be more sensitive, and women need to be more open. It's high time we normalize this. Let me put this in perspective. Anyone with a uterus will have about 450 periods in their lifetime. Normally, the period pain lasts from 3 to 7 days. Now add another 7 days of PMS to it. That comes to about 14 days every month. Now this means that your mother, spouse, sister or daughter lives in pain and discomfort for about half a month every single month. It is true that men will never understand the pain that women go through during these 14 days. Let me try and give you a perspective. Now imagine that you have been through a bad fist fight and someone also kicked hard on your balls and groin area. Ouch, right? Now imagine getting kicked there every single day for 14 days along with bleeding through your penis. You have lower backache, bloating, nipples getting super sensitive and having to go to the bathroom twice as much. Most importantly, you are irritated and angry most of the time and you have no clue why. While you're going through all this, you're also expected to function normally and do all the stuff that you're supposed to be doing on a daily basis. Now, in the middle of all this, imagine someone making fun of you and calling you a loser because you can't handle this silly pain. Well, welcome to womanhood, guys. Now, if you have survived till now, in all probability, you have a much better understanding of this topic than 80% of men in the entire world. And hopefully by now, you are eager to know how you can help them. First, be empathetic. If a woman is going through mood swings, don't ever ask her if she's irritable because of PMS or periods. It will only make it worse. Now tell me, when you are having a fit of rage, how do you react to someone who says, just calm down, man? Does it work? Instead, ask her if she needs any help or support. Now, if she lashes back at you and tells you to grow a uterus, just keep quiet and don't get into any arguments. Remember that when we are upset and angry, we tend to lash out at the people who we can count on. Second, be kind. A woman may be very strict about her diet and sweets, etc. But when she is having her periods, she may have food cravings, and that to the kind she normally avoids. Just let her have what she wants. Don't try to motivate her not to have those foods or shame her for breaking her diet, or even worse, remind her of this episode later when she gets back on her diet. Now, I gave an example of food or diet. It could be about anything else that she does as well. Third, educate yourself and your family. Normalize it. Discuss it with your wife and daughter. Let your daughter or sister not think twice to tell you to get her a pack of sanitary pads or panty liners. Learn the difference between tampons, sanitary pads, panty liners and menstrual cups. If you are a woman, educate your son or your brother about menstrual cycles and teach them how to support. Let them grow up knowing that this is normal and part of life. Fourth, help out. Help out in whichever way you can. Now, if you were going through the pain I had described, I'm sure you would welcome any help that you can get while you're going through it. Fifth, share this. Share this podcast with everyone you know so that you can actually educate them without having to go through this entire conversation yourself. And if you think I did you a solid with this, hit the follow button because I will be back with another awkward topic next week. Until then, have a rocking week. This is Commander Bimal Raj and see you next week.